think darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. But if there's anything that you can take away from what we're saying right now, is that the sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and fit back into the conformity because it's comfortable and it's warm.
I promise you guys, success is the loneliest road out there. It's you and your shadow at the end because it's too fucking hard.
People struggle to do things alone. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one.
We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. Rest at the end, not in the middle.
If you're in a spot and you don't know what to do and you're not sure where to go and you don't know where the right direction is, start walking and start looking for opportunities.
No one can learn it for you. No one can work out for you. Doesn't matter how much money you have. No one can learn skills for you. It feels so painful because you're like, you look around to see who can help you and then you're like, fuck, it's me again.
When you train alone, and I lived alone for so many years in this misery, and you're able to get out of it by yourself. I don't need anyone. No one can motivate me. That whenever I'm down, I'm like, oh, hang on, motherfucker. You know the truth. You know the darkness of the dungeons and the fucking demons that fly. You were there. You know this. There was no one there to pick up the rucksack, to pick up the boat, to pick up the log, to go in there. It was you.
The most important question to ask is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Anything worthwhile is going to require some degree of pain and struggle. So, if you're oriented toward the pain and the struggle, you're probably going to be more aligned with what you're capable of accomplishing rather than if you just orient toward the pleasures.
I fought for it because no one gave it to me, because it was just me alone in the gym, me alone in the mirror, me alone in my head. No one did it for me. I worked for it, and I'm never going to let someone else take that from me.
Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up. So, just a mentality, really.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
Change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation. I'll say that again. Change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation or drive, having strong enough reasons. If you got a strong enough reason, you could figure out the time, couldn't you? So the biggest part of life and time management is knowing what you want and having enough reasons to follow through.
I found humor in my suffering. I was like, motherfucker, what are you doing out here, Goggins? Like, this is crazy. Like, you're literally trying to reinvent the wheel, but I was trying to reinvent my mind. And I used every single tactic possible to do that. I didn't want to live in this world where I was a fake human being anymore. And I was tired of blaming everybody for where I was at.
When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown.
It won't get harder. Like, this is the hardest part. And so if you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill. It's not that the things that the dragons are going to slay aren't going to get bigger. They are. But you become so much more equipped to slay them back.
Be a product of my environment, you know what I mean? If I'm in with the wrong crowd, I just kind of become wherever, you know what I mean? So that's why I like to be isolated, and that's why this has helped me coming out here and being locked in an apartment on my own. building back up my leg, going from rehab to home to rehab to home, because there was no outsiders. It was isolation, it was visualization, it was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life, you know what I mean?
And you don't like people too, right?
I mean, it's not that I don't like people, it's just that to get to the pinnacle, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game, and that is a demon that I need to conquer.
I found out through this path of life, who is David Goggins? Who am I? So going through all, I did it alone. No one helped me get there. No one paid my fucking bills. No one did shit for me. No one ran those fucking miles, lost that fucking weight. Went through I suffered on my own and developed this man who said, it's who I am, man.
It is not about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality.
You gotta do it alone. You gotta do it broke. You gotta do it scared. You gotta do it when you don't know what's going to happen. You gotta do it when you don't feel like it. You gotta do it even when you're nervous. You gotta do it even when you don't have the answers, because you'll figure it out as you go. You know, that's the secret to manhood. That's the secret to life. No matter who you are, you'll figure it out as you go through this life.
Imagine that you're in a movie, and imagine the movie begins now, and you're the hero of the movie. What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now?
Yeah.
Because you are.
The superpower of learning to be alone and enjoying it. And I do think that these times where you just think about things, be alone and think about things, are so rare these days. During those rare times is when you really get to understand what you actually believe or don't believe.
And the more you want to move on, the more you spend time being lonely. Some people might get it as loneliness means it's something negative. No, it is what it is, lonely. If you think that I can't handle loneliness, it's difficult to grow if you cannot handle loneliness.
Why not now? There never was a better time. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
The reason you need to detach is just so you can see something from a different angle. Don't only use detachment to prevent your emotions from driving your decisions. Also, use detachment as part of your creative process to detach from your current thought pattern and move to a new thought pattern where you can create new ideas and different plans from different angles that were not seen from your previous vantage point.
Loneliness is sort of a tax that you pay on personal transformation. When you are creating change in your life, you are going to experience a period of loneliness because you are changing your environment. You're changing all of the things about how you operate, and you no longer well suited to the prior environment that you operated in or the prior people that you operated with.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell yeah.
Easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. 946 times since he was in high school, the ball has been in his hand to take the game-winning shot with no time on the clock. He has only made 146 of those. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about? When you make it. They write about when you make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you gotta do is make one.
Until you win, effort always goes unnoticed. Get used to it. No one roots for you until everyone roots for you. That's just how it works.
Yeah, people only root for those who don't need to be rooted for.
When you find that sense of purpose, when you find what I call your life's task, Everything has a direction. Everything has a purpose. Your energy is concentrated. It's not like you're just going down a single narrow pathway. It's not like life becomes boring and it's just about discipline and solving problems. It's actually the most exciting thing that can ever happen to you, because you never have that lost feeling. You wake up in the morning and you go, yeah, this is what I need to accomplish. People come at you with all kinds of distractions and boring and irritating things. You're able to cut it out. It's just the most marvelous piece of internal radar that you can have.
I think if you're going to pursue success in your life, you have to decide you're going to be on a road that most people are not on. And a lot comes with taking that road. The journey to success, especially as an entrepreneur or even as an athlete, can be a very painful journey, and you can feel very alone.
There's opportunity to get stronger and get smarter and get faster and get tougher and get better. You have the opportunity to show the world what you are really made of.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him, and that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
No one's effing coming to save you. No one's going to make you better at your business. No one is going to get you to be a better persuader of people or framer of people other than you.
Listen, if you don't think that what I'm doing right now is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done, and if you don't think that 3 times a day I throw my fucking hands up and I'm ready to say, you know what, fuck this shit, believe me, but here we are.
Give up that war. You know, the war that you have to really fight is the war against yourself. You have to fight the war against yourself. Now, it's not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell.
You actually want to, again, rest your mind. You want to learn how to settle into your mind. And now, I look forward to solitary confinement. You leave me alone for a day, it'll be like the happiest day I've had in a while.
I'm very comfortable in my own head. I'm very comfortable alone. For hours at a time, for days at a time. It doesn't mean I haven't felt loneliness. It doesn't mean that I don't feel lonely at times, but it's not acute. It's not something I can't deal with. The one companion that's always going to be with you is yourself.
You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself.
And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
No one else is around. Things not going your way. You got to find a way to hype yourself up. You got to find your way to focus on the vision. Find a way to remind yourself of the dream and refuel yourself. Because the reality is, now that you make it, you have so many people around you that think like you, support you, help you. They bought into the vision. They have respect for you because they've seen the toughness that you have. Then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I thought I was all by myself. Where'd all these people show up? That's because you never quit.
Nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life. Nobody knows what you are. You got to take your shot. As much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it, because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do. It's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
You just got to weather it. You keep on walking and don't flinch. Don't let them know they got you. Don't let them know they got you. You just got to keep on going. No matter what the day is, no matter what the move is, keep going. God gave us everything to point forward, to go forward. And what we do is at a standstill, or stepping backwards. We don't do that. We keep on walking, regardless of what they say, what they think, and how they feel. That's what angers do, that they can't affect us. The biggest advice I could give you right now, the biggest advice that anybody could give you, and this is not my words, Woody Allen told me this. He said, I said, Woody, what's the secret to success? He said, 85 to 90% of life is just showing up. Show up. If you show up, there's a chance something could happen.
You're praying for change, you're praying for change, and your life just starts falling apart, unraveling at the seams. Everything around you, your relationships, your job, it all goes away. The money in your bank account, it all goes away. And you look up and you go, God, what the f***? God's like, dude, you asked for change. You asked for a new life. We can't go on in this environment that you're living in. We have to change the environment. We have to obliterate everything that stands and start new. Because the foundation has to be rebuilt of what you're asking for. And if you're able to stay in it, because that's the ultimate yoga right there. That's the yoga of life, is are you able to maintain peace in the midst of that chaos, maintain focus, concentration, trust, and faith. You can either have faith or be in total fear looking into the unknown. Either one. It's on the precipice of the unknown. You have to either have faith and trust that when you let go, God's going to provide you with the next thing. Or you're in total fear and you never go anywhere and you never see what's on the other side of that thing.
Hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done. I'm not content because I know where I came from and I don't ever want to go back.
You gotta change that, man.
Yeah, but you don't understand my life, David.
Yeah, I do. So that's the thing about it. And that's why I can talk about it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. A lot of folks don't I get that mentality. I once had that mentality, that no one understands what the fuck I'm going through. And if you keep that mentality, you're gonna stay in the same exact spot that you're in.
What did I learn about myself from the highs and lows of my life? The highest point of my life and the lowest point of my life, what did I learn about myself? And I said, I learned that I don't let the highs and the lows affect me too much. Because we're gonna have wins, we're gonna have losses. We're gonna have successes, we're gonna have failures. We're gonna have good nights, we're gonna have bad nights. We're gonna have good relationships, we're gonna have bad relationships. We're gonna have good ideas and bad ideas. We're gonna make money, we're gonna lose money. All these things are gonna happen. And if you oscillate emotionally up and down drastically, it's gonna be problematic. So finding a good, stable, centered way to be and look at the world and take everything that you see with a little bit of a grain of salt and don't get swayed too drastically in one direction or the other, you're gonna be okay.
He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential, the ghost of the ideas you never acted on, the ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
And so if you tell young man, look, you're going to find the meaning in your life by adopting maximal responsibility, right? That's going to be extremely difficult because you're so bloody useless. You can't even get your own house in order. And you're going to be called upon not only to get your house in order, but to do that well enough so some woman can stand having you around for more than like 15 minutes in the back of a car. And then maybe you're going to have to do it so that you could be a good father to a family and a pillar of the community. And that's not just empty words. Like, if you do that nobly, there'll be something to you. And then when the storms come, you won't be blown over by the first 4-foot wave.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're gonna do it to try and be the best.
Hard work looks horrible. It's not motivating. It's not motivating at all. It ain't like Rocky round 14, he gets knocked down and he goes like this to Apollo Creed. It looks like a man being stuck in a fucking dungeon and there's no fucking way out. But you have the fucking key. But you refuse to use it. And that's nothing motivating about that. You find no fucking answers in the light. None. It's too happy, it's twe don't need to be taught how to live in happiness. That just comes naturally to us. Happy moments, but the dark times, man, you can't get there unless you put yourself there.
I don't want to tell somebody else that I'm afraid. I don't know, sometimes deep down in me, if I really want to tell somebody else that I care, but I know for a fact I don't want to tell somebody else that I'm scared. I don't want to tell somebody else that I'm afraid. I don't want to tell somebody else that I think I'm going to mess up. If I do that, then I'm weak, then I'm weak.
But I knew the struggle was worthwhile. And I said, the struggle is going to make me sharp. The struggle is going to give me skill. The struggle is going to make me grow. The struggle will allow me to serve better with more empathy and verve and power. And in the process of struggle, I never hated it. I said, this is part of the journey. I accepted that was the truth. I didn't fight it. I didn't bemoan it. I never complained. I was never bitter. I was like, this is just part of it.
As you get older, you start learning.
You learn more about
what works, and you try to share it with people. Yeah. You're like, listen, man, don't get up anymore and put that TV on. And don't get up and open that fucking computer. Save yourself.
And you have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. It's okay to tell these little white lies to ourselves. So we first have to face the real you. You're a punk. Life made you this way. We can't live like this. We can't live in fear. We can't live in judgment. We can't be afraid of what the people right now are looking at me saying about me. We cannot be afraid of that. Fuck all of you who don't like me, who don't want to, and that person then comes in.
One of the great things about being challenged physically is it's also mental. The people that don't understand that have never really been challenged physically. People that think that physical challenges are just physical. It's just brute grunt work. It's not. It's emotional intelligence. It's understanding your desire to quit and conquering your inner bitch. All that stuff it's mental. It's playing out inside your head. And there's a mental strength that you acquire from that you can apply to intellectual pursuits.
And on your own instincts have led you to a place of real progress. You're not there yet, not where you want to be. And by the way, when you get wherever there is, it won't be enough. You'll want to do more because we're all supposed to keep growing. That's what makes us happy.
We all lose. We all have lost us. This is okay. And this is why I say don't be worried about losing, because when you're afraid of losing, then you get frozen. You get stiff. You're not relaxed. You got to be, in order to perform well in anything, if it's in boxing or if it is on your job or with your thinking, is only happening when you relax.
It's a huge difference between being alone and being lonely, and choosing to be alone so you can connect with God, so you can start reading more, so you can start understanding who you are more, so you can start healing, you know what I mean, from whatever trauma you've been through, whatever your story is in this world, in this life. A lot of times we're looking for the help, but the help that we need, it's through within, it's through God, and it's going to take isolation in order for you to reach that. A lot of people are not willing to be isolated. They're not willing to be alone because they're scared that they're going to be lonely, right? A lot of people are not willing to be isolated and do the inner work. They're not willing to be alone and go ghost because they're scared that they're going to be lonely. But there's times where I go ghost and I'm carving out time in my day to isolate myself from everything so I can understand more about who I am and where I want to go and where I want to be in this life.
A lot of times we don't give ourselves the support that we need, and I think that we need to give ourselves the support now. Whenever it comes to anything in the future, I think a lot of us are so caught up within our goals or caught up within some type of gain that we forget we're supposed to give ourselves stuff along the way. We're supposed to be the ones that give ourselves support. We're supposed to be the ones that give ourselves a perspective that accommodates our actual success. And I feel like until we give ourselves that support, until we give ourselves that clarity, then our vision is always going to be obscured.
Life's hard. We don't need men's mental awareness. We need men's grow a set month. We need men stop whining month. Now, I know things are hard for some of you. I know things are extremely difficult for some of you. Things have been hard for me around here. I don't get on here and post it. I'm not going to now. But we all go through it, and that's the reason I'm talking to you tonight.
You'll be less than. You'll be a fucking loser if you don't. I can't leave the gym. You won. You fucking won. When you walk out of here today, you've won. Imagine walking out the door a loser. I'd rather die. I would rather die than be that loser guy. Think about that. Do you want to walk out that door a damn loser, or do you want to walk out the door a winner? You know, I'll fight to the death. And sometimes I actually went close to death. It sounds crazy, but you got to give it that much if you want results. Otherwise, you'll be like everybody else. The majority of the population, they think they're training hard. That was hard.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said it'll all change for you. Work on yourself, make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, you can so dynamically change your income, and economics is the least of the values that you can start earning in terms of equity if you'll start working harder on yourself than you do on your job.
In life, there are only winners and losers. There are no participation trophies. You know, life is hard, and everyone in life is actually trying to play the same game. Well, life is the only game where every single one of us 8.1 billion people is trying to play the exact same game. And the same game is, there's only so much money in the world, there's only so many resources, there's only so much happiness. I'm going to try to provide for my family as best as I can. And whether people say money's not important or is important, everyone's part of this game. So winning is very difficult.
And unless you change who you are conscious of being and step into now a conscious version that is wealthy, that is healthy, that looks amazing, feels amazing, living in kindness and joy, as soon as you shift your perception of how you see yourself with faith and trust and enjoy and have fun, your circumstances, the people that come into your life automatically shift with it.
What is it that might be the key that you learn to let go of something? And this letting go is of course going to be uncomfortable. In that moment when people are getting confronted the first time with this type of teachings, it's uncomfortable. And so someone is always confronted between here, then he's brought down. Then he gets message how he will build himself up again. Then he gets smashed down again. Every time when we as humans feel something is lacking, the answer is just consume more, which means just go out and look where are you going to find something to fill up that hole that you are feeling.
It's completely okay to be alone. We create this scenario in our head that's not true. So I've always kind of liked doing things alone, but it's okay. It's not weird at all that you want to find things by yourself, kind of feel it yourself, travel by yourself. It's because it's therapeutic and it's healing. You have your own schedule, and I think it's one of the best things to do.
He who squinches eyes in search has obscure vision. You know, the more we focus on one object, the more we lose everything around it. And then focusing on stuff we don't like about ourselves, stuff we don't appreciate, we lose all the good things. And when you don't have that good perspective, I feel like we're unable to be who we are without any being held back.
You need to look at your life as if you're a Sims character. You need to disassociate and view and judge as if you are not yourself. You know how they say sometimes people can see things about you that you can't see because you are you? You need to disassociate and look at yourself as if you aren't you and try to recognize where you need to go. What you've been doing that's been holding you back in this time of isolation, that is going to change your life.
Stop seeking validation from others. You are better than that. When you seek validation from others, you are relying on other people to bring you happiness, to bring you joy. And in many cases, you are relying on them for your success. Many people go through life and they live their entire life and then they die and they never learn this. People say with age comes wisdom, and this is true. And this is one of them. This is one that can help you break free.
You can never know too much. You can never know too much, you know. Every day it could be a learning experience in your life. You know, we live in tough times. If you want to get ahead in life and you want to do well, take it from people that have been there, done that, and understand, and can provide information to you that can be very helpful.
This is who you're competing against, so the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army, if you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy, I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai, working. I'm texting at the same fucking time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None, ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it.